Hello everybody! You've been invited here tonight for a presentation on a new learning capability that we would like to start using in our schools. What is a learning capability? A learning capability is basically the ability to learn. Learning does not guarantee that you have the ability to learn. For example, sometimes learning prevents you from being able to learn the next thing. What does that mean? It's hard to learn how to do something differently when you already know how to do it one way. It is harder for adults to learn how to do something as opposed to children who embrace the new way. Remember when things were simpler? When we were kids, you had one object that did one thing. We used a telephone to make phone calls. We had a radio that played music, a camera to take pictures, and so on and so forth. Our children, however, have an endless array of new technologies that involve each and every one of these things. It is important for everyone to be aware of the social learning that is needed from all of us in order to move forward in this world. Technology moves at such a fast pace, many of us have to run to try and keep up. As soon as we learn one new thing, the newest thing emerges. It is our responsibility as parents, as educators, to ensure that our children possess the necessary tools in order for them to embrace the newest and fastest ways of learning how to use these technologies. That being said, you have been invited here tonight to see how the school is going to integrate technology into each and every classroom this year. This presentation is specifically on how the Social Studies Department is going to implement the use of interactive websites into their lesson plans. We will cover why using web-based learning content is beneficial for our students, how students will learn more from interactive materials, and what a great step this type of learning capability in our school will take in enabling our children to increase their ability to learn in this diverse universe. Why is web-based learning being used in the mainstream classroom? Well, for starters, it gives us access to subject information not available on hand. For instance, there are websites, particularly in social studies, like I said we're discussing. You can go on museum websites and you can interactively see the museum. You can walk through it and take a tour. I mean, we live in Alaska, so you know that we do not have access to things like museums, for world history. There's also interactive maps, games, and etc. Using web-based learning in the mainstream classroom also allows children to learn through various learning styles, seeing, hearing, doing, etc. We don't have to worry about our textbooks being updated because, history is constantly changing, the world is constantly changing, and sometimes our books can't quite keep up. Children use technology everywhere, so why not in the classroom? It gives everyone the opportunity to increase not only subject knowledge, but also technological knowledge, because we are using some form of electronic learning. How will students learn more from interactive social learning? Using web-based learning allows students to learn information and also use it in a fun and interesting way. Children are so busy these days. A regular book-based learning is something of the past. They need activities and teaching that is going to actively involve them in each part of every lesson. How many of you have children out there who just can't sit still for anything? Imagine them in the classroom. We have got to get their attention. By putting a child in a situation of having to use web-based learning, this means they will have to actively be doing a lesson, which means they are awake, because who doesn't like to play a game or do something on the computer? Next, what makes this a great step towards our children's futures? Children need to be able to use technology. Taking this step allows them to practice it, not only in their free time, but in school setting as well. That's right. How many of your kids already have cell phones? They have their own computers, they have laptops, they have PSPs, and they can get on the internet anywhere. If they're enjoying these websites at school, what's to keep them off of them when they're at home? Enabling students to learn via the web helps them realize that they have so much information at the push of a button right at their fingertips. Learning online can be done anywhere, and this capability in our children's hands means they are aware of it. We are giving it to them. They can take it. They're aware of it. Finally, We have to give them the tools to increase their learning abilities. By offering them various ways to learn on their own, increases these abilities while also increasing their knowledge. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out here this evening and listening to this. And just remember, we have the power to give them the tools that they need to be successful. And only we can do that. Thank you. Have a good day.